Hey everyone, welcome to the best U.S. Mint news channel on YouTube. I'm Son of a Silver Stacker. Today's date is the 22nd of March, 2025. In this video, we're going to be talking about the Juliette Gordon Low quarter that drops in just a few short days from now. But before any of that, if you're new here, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to reach a bazillion subs. It's a tremendous number. Not sure exactly what that number is, but pretty sure it's got to be ginormous. Also, we're always live, never edited, and always unscripted. I never know what I'm not going to say. Now let's bounce over here to moneymetals.com. All right, looks like, well, gold ended the week at 30.3510, silver at 33.24, platinum at 9.9405, and palladium at 9.9275, more of that parity, and Dr. Copper ended the week at $5.10 a pound. Over here, you're looking at in stock American Silver Eagle, whose premium is $6.39 for quantity 1 through 39. You'll pay $39.63. We're back to the 39s again. And let's see, they will buy them back for $34.44 each, $34.44. That's $1.20. Over spot. There you go. Now, next up, some bullion sales at the United States Mint. I'm kind of trying to figure it out here. And yeah, no new tale to tell for the month of March for American Silver Eagles or American Gold Eagles. So let's keep on keeping on. So here it is. Okay. So in a few short days from now, on the 25th, we're going to have this particular quarter here. And I got to tell you, folks, at first I was kind of like, I'm going to get it. But I wasn't really sure about the design. The person makes sense, right? The founder of the Girl Scouts, all that. It's fantastic. So the 3-roll set has an incredible mintage limit. Those San Francisco rolls are really where it's at. And that's going to have 18,625. And I don't think the United States Mint ever sold out any of the S rolls except for 2022 and 2023. After that, 2024, I think all S rolls are still available because they produced such a large quantity. After that, you're looking here at the 100 coin bag from Philadelphia at 8,250. The stated product limit on that one. Let's see if it's the same for the Denver bag, right? 8,250. And the household order limit on those two is 10. That 2-roll set has 7,000. That's the least of all of them. And that's going to have a household order limit, and that is $42 for $20 in quarters. Don't take those to the laundromat. Now, what's really interesting about this particular quarter, and I found out over here, and this is from the Smithsonian American Women's History Museum, and title of this blog, and this is from March 2025, just 2 days ago. New quarter honors Juliette Gordon Low, founder of Girl Scouts. And look at that way better picture, photograph, drawing, concept art, whatever you want to call it, than the Susan B. Anthony 2.0. Well, there it is. That's pretty good. Portrait of Juliette Gordon Low in 1887 by Edward Hughes. Image courtesy of National Portrait Gallery, Smithsonian Institution, gift of Girl Scouts of the United States of America, frame cover with funds from the Smithsonian. Okay, here we go. Guys, you won't even believe what I came across, what I stumbled across while researching Juliette Gordon Low. I was like, what? No. And it was like, yes. And I'm like, no. And it was yes. And I'm like, oh. Anyway, here we go. Juliette Gordon Low, 1860 to 1927, was born into a family of contradictions and a world in transition. Okay, well, look at born in 1860. Okay, what was going down right then, right? So world in transition, right? Both hardworking and privileged. Can you be both? I don't know, apparently. Both community-minded and accepting of daily injustice, the Gordons raised their children with a strong sense of self. Low was born in Savannah, Georgia on Halloween in 1860, and actually that was one of the few cities in all the Civil War not to be touched. Okay, so it's still original to its founding. All right, and that was in Halloween 1860. Within a year, her father left to command a company of Georgia Hussars. I think that's light cavalry from Hungary, but I think, well, we'll see. I don't know. I think that's right. Can somebody verify that for me? I apologize. In the Confederate Army, her mother's origins in Chicago. Hey, all right, Chicago. Put Low's extended family on different sides of the conflict and created strain in the early years of her parents' marriage. That's right. One was from the South, one was from the North. The dualities continued in Low's tendency to be both accepting of tradition and one's place in society while finding herself venturing outside expectations. She married William Low in 1886, pickup sticks, and intended to spend the remainder of her life devoted, wife and mother. Their relocation to the United Kingdom, however, where William was deeply entrenched in the aristocratic social sphere, proved jarring. Yeah, not liking it. Left a bad taste in her mouth, right? Though her family enjoyed wealth and privilege in the United States, she was not accustomed to the level of frivolity, I can't even say that word, and leisure that defined her married life. Okay? Low's recurring tendency to support the causes she cared about in a way that was hands-on rather than strictly financial ran contrary to her husband's ideas about appropriate activities for women in their station. Eventually, the strain led to the breakdown of their marriage as time apart became more frequent and his infidelity became apparent. All right, there it is. There's Juliette Gordon Low with two, looks like Girl Scouts right there. After years of separation amid an impending divorce, William died in 1905 at 45. When she expected to be a wife and a mother, Low found herself a wealthy widow with no children. She was adrift for the next several years as she traveled and explored new places and ideas. She found her calling when she met Robert and Agnes Baden-Powell in 1911. Robert Baden-Powell started the Boy Scouts in the United Kingdom in 1908. And after repeated episodes of girls attempting to join, his sister Agnes started Girl Guides in 1909 in the United Kingdom, right? Low jumped in wholeheartedly and formed 2 patrols in London and 1 near her estate in Scotland. She remained devoted to these groups of girls throughout her life, even after the founding of the Girl Scouts in the United States. This is a fantastic story, you guys, and it gets better and better and better as I read more and more and more. Low discovered the scouting movement during the crucial years of the Progressive Era. Women in the United States and the United Kingdom were beginning to advocate for a better society in a variety of ways and through many types of organizations, both locally and nationally, that supported causes like suffrage, labor reform, public health, and education. This was not a new idea for Low and her peers. Low's mother, Nellie Kinzie Gordon, wait a minute, Kinzie, I know that name, was active in 2 such organizations, founding the Georgia chapter of the Colonial Dames in 1894 and organizing the Society of the Red Cross in Georgia in 1906. The women Low ultimately partnered with to develop Girl Scouts was active in the progressive education movement. And I got to tell you, folks, Kinzie, I knew that name, and I'm like, I got a relative named John Kinzie. Yeah, John Kinzie. So this is Juliette Gordon Low right here. All right. And this is Wikipedia, and I found here early life. Juliette Magill Kinzie Gordon was born in 1860. That's her right there. And she was named after her grandmother, Juliette Augusta Magill Kinzie, nicknamed Daisy. Well, check it out. Bam. So this is John Kinzie, fur trader, okay, from Chicago. All right. You won't even believe this. Check this out. All right. This is one of my relatives here, John Kinzie. I'm just going to keep on going down. I think it's down here. Look at this. Under death and legacy. His great-granddaughter, Juliette Gordon Low, was the founder of the Girl Scouts of the USA. So it turns out, yeah, this guy that you're listening to is a blood relative of this Miss Juliette Gordon Low. Yeah, it says so right over here, because Kinzie, it gets way more intense, because this is Juliette Magill Kinzie right here. Well, in 1636, well, look at this. She was born in Middletown, Connecticut. That's where all my family's from, right? To Frances Wolcott Magill and her second husband, Arthur William Magill. Her mother's ancestors, some of whom helped found Windsor, Connecticut in 1636, included Roger Wolcott. And there's also that family of the Griswold Wolcott family, if you haven't heard of them. So Roger Wolcott, if you're not familiar with him, yeah, here's Roger Wolcott, Connecticut politician. Yeah, has a son, Oliver Wolcott. He signed the Declaration of Independence, and then he had a son, well, named Oliver Wolcott. And check it out. This is where it gets really full circle. Yeah, he was actually the first treasurer, I think, of the second treasurer of the United States. It's just really quite amazing. For the Secretary of Treasury, let's see if there's another one down here. Yeah, there we go. Oliver Wolcott Jr., his son, served as Secretary of the Treasury under Presidents George Washington and John Adams. I'm just so blown away here, folks. And there he is, Oliver Wolcott Jr. Yeah, there it is. It's all in black and white. It's on Wikipedia. It turns out that this guy is related to this honoree on the American Women Quarter. Now, ask me if this feels a little bit different this morning. Absolutely. Am I going to buy any extras? Absolutely not. But that is pretty cool to find out. Now, supporting children, particularly girls, was a through line in Low's life when she was a young girl. She and her cousins started the Helpful Hands Club. The first project was sewing clothes for the children of immigrant families living in poverty. However, their age and lack of skill quickly made it apparent that they could not fulfill their mission. When she arrived in England, she volunteered her time with the factory girls in a local town. In many ways, Girl Scouts was a natural progression of her already existing passion. That's outstanding. And I believe that's her right there. And that's the rest of the Girl Scouts. Looks like troop leaders or whatever. All right, let's keep on keeping on. Low returned to Savannah, Georgia in 1912 and made a call that would change American history. She phoned her cousin, Nana Pape, and made the legendary declaration, "I've got something for the girls of Savannah and all of America and all around the world, and we're going to start tonight." That's pretty amazing. Pape owned and operated the Pape School, a school for girls in Savannah, Georgia, and was an advocate for the kindergarten movement. That's a German word for garden of children. The movement enthusiastically shared new ideas in education like learning through play, time spent outdoors, group work, games, songs, and folk dancing. Sounds like good times at the school there. Other local members of the progressive education community, including Hortense Orcutt, Jane Judge, and Edith Johnson, quickly committed their time and energy to Low's new idea, and the Girl Scouts was born. Yeah, that's troop number 1. Look at that in there. That's Juliette Gordon Low there. That's incredible, and there's the new quarter. It might seem obvious today that having girls spend time outdoors and teaching them to be self-sufficient leaders is a good idea, but it was not apparent to upper-class Savannah families in 1912. Low brilliantly accepted and treasured social norms to encourage families to endorse a movement that would ultimately contribute to the dissolution of these very customs. She hosted elaborate teas for mothers and daughters in the home of her parents, now the Juliette Gordon Low Birthplace Museum, and I got to go check that out in Savannah, Georgia. That's 4 hours north of me. Through these tea parties, the epitome of female elite domesticity. Wow, that's an awesome word. Low deftly convinced mothers that Girl Scouts would be a positive influence of their daughters' lives and futures. And there's the quarter right there. That's amazing. Can't wait to see that in hand. All right, let's see here. The movement grew at an exceptional rate from 18 girls in March 1912 to 1,000 girls in 1914. That's parabolic. To 10,000 girls in 1918. That's remarkable. To 90,000 in 1920. It looks like there was a demand. Today, there are over 2 million Girl Scouts and 50 million alums in the United States. Low was relentless in her advocacy for Girl Scouts, encouraging and coercing friends and family to support her girls. Low died in 1927 of breast cancer. At her home in Savannah, Georgia, she's buried in their Girl Scout uniform. That's amazing. What? In her uniform, that's some dedication. She was all about that, right? That's quite something. In her pocket is a telegram she received the week before she died from Girl Scouts National Board. It reads, "You are the best Girl Scout as well as the first in this country." I just got chicken skin. Wow. Low's vision and mission have been recognized by U.S. postage stamps. I got to pick those up now. The Presidential Medal of Freedom, and now a new quarter history, or her story reminds us that you don't have to be perfect to make a difference. You just need to find your cause and commit to leaving the world a better place than you found it. Love that. That's something else. That's an awesome story. I will leave a link in the description for this story. Now let's bounce over to the plus ones. This is some really good stuff, folks. So this is some advice. That's right, advice. And be careful who you take advice from, because some people don't have your best interest in mind. It's a sin to give bad advice on purpose, right? So some advice is better to be embarrassed than ashamed, better to be ridiculed than shamed. Why? Well, ashamed is a person who feels guilty after having done something immoral and maybe even unethical, right? Feels sorry, right? So you feel sorry, right? Ashamed. Embarrassed, on the other hand, is someone who's fearful of other people's judgments. And then ridicule is society's form of punishment, really. It's something that it happens to you externally, whereas shame is a punishment that you've imposed on yourself. And remember, folks, it's important to forgive yourself to be able to move on, to learn and grow. Now let's bounce over here to 39's Fine, 99.9 KOI and Coin News Radio. This is Spando Ballet. This is true. That's right. It's true. So with that said, folks, I want to thank you all for coming. Thanks for dropping by. Don't forget to hit that like button. And if you do like what you hear and see, sub the channel. It's absolutely free. Now, if you want to spend a little dig and help these videos keep coming out each and every single day, yeah, you can become a member. It's $1.99 a month. It's the price of a cheap cup of coffee. Or you can, well, go to the store and purchase something there. There's some really wicked, awesome merchandise there. Or you can make a donation to the PayPal account. But I'd rather have you buy something or become a member to get something to show for your money. Stacker out.